Hello and welcome back. This is part 5. Let's continue the project. So yesterday we added this functionality. So if we add a component and open the style form, we can add the style to any component. This color, this padding, the border, this background color, font size. I found one problem that this border radius is not working. Let's say I add a 15 pixel, it's not working. So if I inspect it, you see the border radius, it says border radius 15, but it should be like this 15 pixel, then it will work. So for that, let's check the value this value is coming from. It's come from this get dynamic values, this dynamic styles, and we have padding and border radius here. So in here we need to add the pixels. So let's say add a pixel, save it. Let's go back here, add a component, and if we add the background color to check if it is really working or not. So if I add border radius 10 pixel, see it's working. To see it clear, let's add a padding 15 pixel. Now you can see we have this border radius of 15 pixel and just working fine. Border radius is 10, the padding is 15 pixel. Now there are few more properties that are not working right now, like the button text and the placeholder text. So if I add a button and trying to change this button text, it does not work. If I add anything, it does not work because we have not integrated this functionality yet. We will add it later, the button text and placeholder, but for now we need to fix few things in the current implementation. So yesterday when we implemented this dynamic style, there are few problems. So if I go to this component and check that it has added this dynamic class, right? But if I click it one more time, it will add one more class. See, if I add click one more time, it add one more class. So it will keep adding whenever we click on this settings button. And if I go to this button settings, and if I come back to this text component settings, it does not load the existing styles into this form. So there are two things. First, we need to remove this multiple dynamic class names, and same if you go to the head, we need to stop creating the multiple style tag with the same ID. So we need to fix that. And second is pre-fill this style form. So let's start with removing the multiple style tag and the class names. Okay, for that let's go to the function, and if you go to the live preview, we are adding the class name here. Okay, now what we need to do, first check if the target has the class name. Like if we can find the class from the target element, we don't have to generate and add the class name. For that I will create a new function that will just return the class name if it exists on the component. So let's say get dynamic class name, and it will take the target element as a parameter, and in here we will check if there is no target element or there is no target element or class list. If this property does not exist on this one, then we will simply return null. And second is we return the actual class name. For that we need to get array.from. We will create an array from this target element dot class list, and we will add a filter on it. We have the class name, and we will check class name starts with dynamic hyphen. So if it starts with this, we will return this. Return this. Okay, and if it exists, if it does not, we will return null. So this is the function that we will use. Now this is where we generate the class and add the class to this target element. So before that, what we will do, we will say let class name equals to this, and we will move these two things inside if we don't have the class name. If we don't have the class name, then we will go and generate the class name and then add it here. Now in here, let's say call this function and give it the target element. Now if we have the class name, we will not edit. So this is fixed. Now second thing is the style tag. So this is our ID. We are creating this style tag every time. So for that, let's get the style tag first. We say document dot query selector. We say style tag ID, and if we find the style tag, if we don't find the style tag, then we will go and generate the style tag, add ID and append to the head of the document. So now if we test this, let's come in here, section text, I will inspect this. Now if I click on this one time, it will add a class. Okay, there is a one console or error. Okay, 31. This is here. Okay, this is a style tag. It should be the let, not the const. Let's test it now. Text component. We will inspect it. And if I click on the settings button, okay, did it add any class name? Not now. Okay, let's see. If we add a font color, it's not working. Okay, where is the problem? So what we are doing it here, we say get me the class name, and let's see if it starts with this, it returns, let me check. Okay, it's a fine. We need to find it, not the filter. Not the filter. We need to find the class name. So if I come here again, add a text component, and if I click on settings, see now it's working fine. So that was the correct function we were using. Now let's add a font color, background color, border radius, font size, height. This is a width, not the height, and we can add a, let's say, height, the border radius there. Yeah, I think it's working fine. Now this problem is fixed. It does not add the multiple class, and if we go to the head, it does not. Okay, it is creating multiple times. Let's see one more time. Okay, it is creating. So if we come in here and check document.get, okay, let's see if we are finding it or not. There is a problem. I think there is a problem. We need to use query selector, get element by ID, because this is an ID we are passing, not the, like if we added the query selector, we have to add hash and then the class, this tag ID. So now if we go to the head, add a section component, click on this, it add a style tag, and if we check this component, it has a one dynamic class. So if I click second time, it does not add a class and it does not create a new style tag. So problem number one is fixed. Now we need to write a function that can read the value of existing component style and pre-fill this form. For that, I will create a new function in here, function load existing styles, and for that we will need the target element, because we need to read the existing style. For a target element, I will add this function on window object, and this function, if we go to the index.js file, and this is our settings. Where is our settings? Delete. Okay, let me check. Where is our settings button? This is delete. Move up, move down, duplicate. Where is it? Wait a minute. Where is it? Let me find settings. We don't have the settings in here. Oh, this is here. So this is the settings. Inside it we are calling this live preview. Now before that we need to load this, we need to call this function and pass it the target element. Now let's go to this function in here. So what we need to do is, let's say we need to find the class name right first, because the target element will have that class name, and for that we say get dynamic class name and we will pass this target element. Now I did not add this function on the window object. If we want we can add it, but I will just leave it as it is because we are not using it anywhere. So I'll just leave it. Now if we don't find the class name, we will just return from here. Now the same thing we need to do for the style tag, right? We need to get the style tag so we can read the styles from the style tag. So for that we'll say document dot get element by id, not the animation, get element by id, and the id is, what is the id we added in the live preview function? This stone UI dynamic style. So we add it here. This is our id, and if we don't find the style tag, it means there is no style for the component, so we just return it from here. But if we have it, what we do, we say css content equals to style tag dot text content. All the css are just the string, so we read the text content. Now I will write a regular expression. I have already prepared a regular expression, so I will just use that. So I will just add it here. This is the regular expression and I will explain what it is, and then we will use this for css content dot match, and we will pass the regular expression. Now what is this regular expression? This start from the dot and the class name, and then we have the space, and then it has the opening curly braces and closing curly braces, and it's case sensitive. And what it will do, it will go to this css text content, which is a string, and it will check if there is anything which starts from this, and then a curly brace open and curly brace closes, and everything inside it will just match. So it will give us the match if there is any existing style. So what we can do it here, we can just console log and see what we get. So if I just console log this, let's go to component, the page, add a component, console, add a settings, let's say the font color, font size 24 pixel, background color some light green. Okay, now we close it, we add a new component button. Now if we click back on this text component settings button, it should call this function and give us the CSS. Okay, so if I click here, you see it is giving us this array. This array has two values in it. At the 0, which is the first position, we have the entire CSS from the class name to all the properties, and the second place we have all the properties only. So now we can use this second value from this match. So what we do here, we say if we have the match and we want to read the value at the second place, so that is at 1. So if it exists, what we want to do, we want to read this text value and then convert into a object that we can use and pre-fill our form, because we cannot just directly go and read it. We need to just somehow make it formatted so we can read it. So CSS rule, and in here we have match at 1, what we get all these things, and then we can just split it using the semicolon. So if I say dot split with semicolon, and what it will give us, it will give us a new array with this value in it, like this is what we will get. Okay, and from there, yeah, we can test it here. So let's just add the console log, and we can verify each step what we are getting, and now we are formatting it. Add a section, content, add font color, font size, background color. Now if I click again, you see we have the array with each property with its value, and if you see we have these empty string. For that we come in here, and okay, we have this one, and what we can do, we can go through each value, each rule, and then we say r.trim. So we can just remove the empty values, and then if there is any other empty value, what we can do, we can just filter out with boolean, pass it a value. So we have now the CSS rules. Now let's see what we get. Finally, we had a style, font color, font size, and if I clear it, click again, I get this one, complete property in an array, like each property has a one value in array, and there is no white space. So this is what we get. Now what we can do here is create a new object. In this object we will add all the properties. So I say style map and CSS rules. It is an array, so we can go for each rule, and inside that what we can do, we will read both the value property and value, and for that what we need to do, rule dot, we have the each value, what we can do, we read it one, and then we say split with colon, so we can get this as a first value and this is a second value for each value in this array. It will give us that, and then we say style map of prop equals to value. Okay, this is not a prop, this is just a prop. Let's see what this rule gives us. Okay, save it, let's try it again. Text component, add some style. Now we click it again, and we get, you see, we are getting the rule split it. Okay, I think we have to make it colon, not the semicolon. Let's do it again. Text component, add some style, let's say color, click here, add a font size as well, so we have multiple values, and check. So we have, you see, the first is the property name and second is the value. And what we can do it here, we can again see they have this empty space. Again we can say, oh, map does not work. We can just say, okay, we can add it trim to the value because the values are getting the empty space. We will say like this, and dot trim, not in here, here we add the trim. And now let's say we have the style map completely, then we can just remove these console log. So we have the clear console log. Once we have the style map ready, let's see what we have. Add section, font color 24 pixel, add some background color, change the font color, let's say white. Now if I click again, you see we have a style map, an object which has the key as a property and the value its value. So now we can use this and pre-fill the form. Okay, for that let's go in here. First we will need the form, so we will just say document dot query selector, and there is a class for this form which is style form. So we will select the form, and if we find the form, we'll go inside it and we'll select all the properties, which is form dot query selector. We will need font size, and if we find the font size, what we can do, font size dot value equals to style map of font size, else we just add it there. Let's see if it is working. So if come in here, add a section, text component, style, font color, font size, let's make it white, and add a background color red. Let's add one more property, border radius, padding. Okay, now if I click on this, okay, let's add a component first. So add a component. Now if I click on the settings button, what we added, we added this style font size. It did not edit the font size here. Okay, 1 second, let me check. Okay, so what we need to do is, like, it's a string, and this will not take the string. So we need to do here is parse int and then give it a value. Now it will work. So add a text component, font size 24, background color red, font color white, padding 10 pixel, clear. Add a new component button. Now if I click back on this text component, you see the 24 value is coming there. So this font size is working. Similarly, we can add all other values, font size, background color. Let's see how many we'll remove if we have more. So second is font color. So we will find the font color, and color is not like the font color, it's just a color, and we don't have to parse it in because it is just a string, so it will work. Next is width. So in here we can say width. Next is height, then background color. This is height. Next is background color. And the same thing for background color, we don't need the parse int. And next is, we don't have button text for now, we have padding and border radius. So okay, this is padding, and the last we have border radius. So let's add it here. Now let's save it and we'll test it. Text, we have 24 pixel, font color, width let's say to 50, or not, let's just put it 25 just for the adding the value. Height 50, background color red, padding 10, border radius 10. Okay, now we have all the values. If I add a new component, the button, it's there. Now what we can do is, if we click on this button, it should pre-fill all the values. If I click on this, you see font is 50, font color white. Now two things, width and height is not there. We'll check. The background color is correct, padding and border radius is correct. What we did not get, height and width. Okay, let's see, it did not read the height, and the style map does not have height and width, that's why it did not work. Okay, if I go to the style map, it does not have height and width. Why is that? Let's check the element, style tag, it does not have it. Okay, let's just refresh it again and add one more time. Let's add text, and if let's say I add a width of 50 pixel, what it does. Okay, width is, font size, you see there is a problem in this mapping. This is not a font size, this is, see, this is incorrect. This is width and this is height. So yesterday we made this mistake, we just found it now. Let's just see it now again. We just fixed it. So add a component, and with 50, let's make it 100, font color white, 10 pixel red, 10, 15. Okay, now if I add a new component button and click back on this text component, it fills the font size, font color, width, height, background color, padding, and border radius. So it's working just fine. So what we did, we just read all the values from this component and pre-fill this form. So it's working just fine. I think this is it for today. We have successfully fixed 2 bugs and added the pre-fill functionality for the style form. And I think that's all. I will see you in the next video, and if you have any suggestion, any project, you can just add in the comment section. I will try to cover that.